It's great to see you. It is great to see you here in the channel today. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I just recently turned 26 years old, so I figured why not go a little back in time and tell you some stories of how we got to where we are today. You see, I get the question a lot is how did you start in the business? Like how did you get from where you were to where you are now? What's your story? And a lot of people who watch my videos since the beginning, they might know the story, but I've told it like in so many different videos. I haven't just dedicated one video to my story and how I got to where I am today. So I figured today we take the time to do that because maybe you are a new agent, maybe you are just somebody who wants to hear a story. That's understandable because I get inspiration from stories. I go on YouTube and look up people's stories because that inspires me, because it's so inspiring to hear how somebody got from like point A all the way to point Z. Everybody has such a unique story and I'm very excited to share mine. So today we're gonna get right into that. So I think we gotta take it back. I'm 26 years old now. We're gonna have to take it back to 8 years ago when I was in high school, shall we? Let's take it back to 2014 when I was 16 years old, junior year of high school. My grandpa gave me his car as a hand-me-down. That was my first car ever. Shout out to Abuelo for surprising me with such a great gift. Now, when I got that car, it was a surprise. I call home, my mom said, I go, Mom, look, I got my first car. I'm so excited, Abuelo gave me a car. And she said, oh my God, that's amazing. Here's $40, this is the only tank of gas I'm gonna pay for you. Now you need to go and get a job. So at that point, she offered me, I said, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. She said, hey, I have some kids that need some tutoring, that their parents would like you to be like a homework helper or tutor them after school. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. And so ever since that moment, $20 an hour right after school every single day. I would pick up the kids from school, take them home, help them with homework. And that's honestly how I got started. That's how I paid for gas. That's how I paid for McDonald's. That's how I took my girlfriend out at the time to Chipotle. You know, that's how I did that with the 20 bucks an hour. It was a lot of money at the time, all right? Now, I was a tutor for nearly 2 years. The moment that I got my car, I became a tutor. I tutored kids. And I didn't just tutor those kids every day. I had multiple clients. I would pick up 2 kids, take them, get them from school to home every day, tutor them, and then I'd go to other tutorings after that. And I was making 20 bucks an hour. Again, like I said, it was good money when you're in high school, all right? Now I did that until senior year, right? And in senior year, I get accepted into the University of Central Florida, UCF Knights. Go Knights, baby. And I actually enrolled into that school. I was going to UCF. Like, I was a Knight. I even had my roommate. I even paid for my dorm. I got all of that done. And then I find out that financial aid isn't going to be giving me financial aid. For some reason, they took away my financial aid and I had a little scholarship, but I was still gonna have to come out of pocket a tremendous amount of money. And honestly, my intention was I was just gonna figure it out. I was just gonna do it and I'd figure it out, I'd get a job or do something up there. Now, one day, I would never forget, it was probably like May 4th. It was after the deadline for applications. I had a letter on my desk from FIU. And FIU, I was like, I always had it there and I never opened it because I was like, I'm not going to FIU anyway, so why would I even waste the time opening it? On May 4th, I opened the letter. I see the letter, I'm like, oh, I'm going to UCF anyways, let me just open and see. I opened the letter, turns out FIU was giving me a full ride. I was basically getting paid to go to college. So at that moment in time, I really had to weigh my options. And although my girlfriend at that time was going to the University of Central Florida, and that maybe wanted me to go there even more, I had to make a decision about my life and what I was going to do and what was better for me. And at that moment in time, I decided it was best for me to go to FIU. So I ended up canceling everything with UCF. I lost some money there, but I ended up enrolling to FIU and staying here at home. And that changed my plans in my life literally forever because I was gonna go to UCF and I was gonna work probably at a bar or do something up there, who knows? I had no idea what I wanted to do in life. And then when I ended up staying here, I decided to talk to the boss I was tutoring her kids. And I told her, hey, look, I am actually going to be staying in Miami and I would love to continue tutoring the kids. I had no idea what I wanted to do in life. I just knew I was gonna have to go to college and study. And then at that moment in time, the parents said, hey, why don't you get your real estate license and come work with me in real estate at Sotheby's. And so I took it upon myself, graduated high school, and like a few weeks after graduating, called her up and I said, hey, I'd love to take you up on your offer. When can I start? Now, look, going into that office, I was, oh my God, my back, I'm getting old. Made you think I'm not getting old. I can still whip, whatever. Okay, anyway, sorry, got excited there. So in that office, I was extremely nervous. I remember not knowing anything and just being like so scared because of that. I didn't even know what a mortgage was. Now, thanks to these people, my mentors, right? Because of them, I got into the business. I sat down there, right? And they basically said, hey, look, get your license. We'll teach you everything. You'll be our assistant. You'll work here with us. And we're gonna teach you basically everything. And that's what they did. I worked for them for 3 years as an assistant, day in and day out, and I learned so much, and I'm so extremely grateful for the opportunities that they presented to me, because without those people, I would not be here right now. Now, while I was being an assistant and while I was on a team as well, I was doing, and even after that, I was doing open houses every single weekend. I would do 2 open houses on Saturday and 2 open houses on Sunday every single weekend. Anybody who's been with me since the beginning knows about this. I did that for 3 to 4 years leading up to COVID, and even after COVID, I was still doing open houses. I was one of the only few people that was doing open houses, but I was determined. And the way that I would do the open houses, this is great for every new agent who's out there, is if I didn't have listings, which I really didn't, I would go and ask agents around my office if they needed help opening open houses. I would do that for them. I would offer a helping hand whenever I possibly could. And because of those open houses, honestly, that is the reason, probably main reason why I am where I am today. Those open houses, maybe like 5 years later, got me a deal, but eventually they got me something with follow-up and diligence. But those open houses were such a huge part of my career and my growth, because that's where I got to learn how to communicate to people, and I got to meet people who weren't my age, because people my age really couldn't buy or sell houses, right? So I needed to get out there, and that was my way of doing it every weekend. Now, working as an assistant taught me so much. It taught me about myself, it taught me about the business, it taught me about basically the contracts, everything that I needed to know to be a stronger agent for my clients, right? Now, after those 3 years, I decided that I wanted to try my own thing and start my own business. And at that point, I worked on a team for just about a year, where I learned not only teamwork, but I learned more about negotiations. I learned more about selling homes. I just learned so much more. And after that year, basically after those 4 years of being an assistant and working on a team, I basically got my master's in real estate. In-ground, boots in the ground experience. And because of that, it propelled me to have the confidence to be able to go out on my own and start my own team. And now, we fast forward, that was 3 years ago, right before COVID, October 2019, I basically started my own thing. And from that moment on, right after, then COVID hit. And when COVID hit, life changed forever. Hola, señor. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? COVID, I think life changed for everybody, right? But in particular to my business, nobody was out going to look at houses. And this just literally right after I had just gone on my own. Literally probably 4 or 5 months or so after I had gone on my own. And little did I know that COVID was going to bring me the biggest listing I would ever have at that moment. During COVID, I was at home doing videos, continuing to do what I do best, which is be in front of a camera. And I ended up getting the biggest opportunity of my life. We got a $17,750,000 listing in Gables Estates. That was the biggest listing I had ever seen. I had never sold anything relatively close to that price, but I got the opportunity from another mentor of mine, somebody who's so dear to me. And because of them, they gave me this opportunity, her and her husband selling that home. And honestly, that was a life-changing experience. It was right in the midst of COVID, and they gave me the opportunity because I was young, I was hungry, and they wanted social media exposure because they realized that nobody was going out to see homes in person, and they needed to get people right here on the phones, which is where everyone was gravitating towards when they're at home sitting with COVID or like avoiding COVID. It honestly did. It gave me the confidence that I could get big listings, that I could sell those kinds of properties, because when you're 21 years old on your own in such a cutthroat industry, it is scary to think, how could I do that? People telling you you can't do that. People telling you you're too young. Hearing all those things, it's real things. And when I got that listing, let me tell you, did I find out who my true friends or slash colleagues were? Because when I got that $17 million listing, the people who have been in the industry for a long time, they were not happy. At least some of the people that I had heard of. That's life though. Now, since that listing, we have been nominated top 1.49% of realtors nationwide. I was nominated top 20 under 40 in Brickell magazine. And the sales continue, and I'm shocked day by day as to where we've come. I say that to you because no matter what you're doing, sometimes you don't know where your head is, sometimes you don't know what life has in store for you, but if you just keep doing what you're supposed to, you may come across somebody who's going to give you an opportunity because they like you, because you're likable, because you're honest, because you do what you say you're going to do, because you're responsible. And those little opportunities that you get, although they may seem small in that moment, they could be much, much larger. You see, I never would have thought I was gonna be a real estate broker. Although I always loved homes, I never thought I was gonna be selling them, right? But here we are today. And here we are today with a group, with a team. Suyapa, my assistant, Sophia on my team, Terry on my team, Leo, amazing videographer, Miami Lux Media, other great videographers. We're here building something very special and unique. And it's thanks to you guys who are watching this video, so I wanna thank you so much. And as our story continues to unfold, because at 26 years old, we still have so much growth to do, I'm glad that we're here growing together. And I want you to remember that if you have any opportunity in your life, no matter how small or how big, take it seriously, do it with passion, give it your all. And lastly, this is the most easiest and simple thing. Do what you say you are going to do. And you never know where that small opportunity might land you. Who knows, maybe it turns you into your real estate career that you never knew about. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you go down, like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you in the next video.